Ohio gozaimasu and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Seamaster 2019 ITTF World Tour Platinum Lion Japan Open, coming to you live from Sapporo, Japan. I'm your commentator, Adam Bobro, and this is the men's singles quarterfinals. World rank number 1, Xiaopeng Zhendong makes his way out onto the court. He's been number 1 in the world for 14 straight months. We will see what next month holds. A lot of people predict Lin Gaoyuan will be number 1 in the world because of his recent performances. We'll talk about that more later, but right now, the greatest of all time coming into court, the dragon, the captain, the dictator, Ma Long. He's world rank number 5, 30 years old, comes back from injury after 6 months off the world tour, wins his first title back at the Qatar Open, comes back to win his 3rd consecutive world championship title. And I think as the year progresses, we will see Ma Long take over the number 1 spot if he continues in his form. It should only take a few more months, but by the end of the year, his absence will have been paid off. Again, a lot of people wonder, how can a player as incredible as Ma Long be world rank number 5? Missing 6 months of world tour play is like being absent for class and getting zeros on tests on your midterm and for half of the school year. So he's got a lot of makeup work to do. Hope that makes things clear, but in the world tour standings for this year alone, not the world rankings, Ma Long number 2, just behind Lin Gaoyuan. Ma Long with an incredibly high percentage of tournament wins where he participates, a very strong world tour standing list. Most of these players are the qualifiers for the T2 Diamond event coming up in July in Malaysia, Johor Bahru. Again, Lim Wing Ru continues on through. We'll have a chance to see him play tomorrow. A lot of exciting matches left, but this has been the biggest clash of the Titans over recent years. Now, while it feels like it should be or could be even, there are reasons for that, but head-to-head, they've played 15 times on the World Tour, or at least in ITTF acknowledged events, including the Asian Cup in 2017, which was one of only 2 encounters out of 15 that Zhendong won. Ma Long has won the other 13. You might recall Dusseldorf 2017. Extra points in the end, deuce in Game 7, 12-10 for Ma Long over Zhendong. Heartbreak for Zhendong, it wasn't the first time. But recently, Zhendong got his revenge on Ma Long. Zhendong fan club in the crowd. Zhendong beat Ma Long 4-2 at the Asian Cup just this year. That was actually from down 0-1, 7-10. So an impressive comeback in the early parts of the game, early parts of the match rather. Ma Long yesterday, last night, so impressive to get through Zhengyang Shik. I saw them both on the bus immediately following that match. We'll talk about that in a bit. Number 1 seed here, a quarterfinalist in China, an early exit. Quarterfinalist at the Grand Finals as well, semi-finalist at the Hungarian Open 2019. You can imagine why his confidence is not as high as his world ranking right now. He's underperformed so far in 2019, but last year, the absence of Ma Long made so strong, I'd say such strong results that he just really harvested a lot of points. So even in his slightly weaker performances here, you can see what Ma Long has done. The China Open, the Qatar Open, his 2 tournaments back, 2018, Austrian Open, it says group. That was following Bulgaria Open. I believe he didn't even play. I think he pulled out after the doubles event. Liam Pitchford, his last match before retiring in the singles event for 6 months. First round of the Bulgaria Open, I remember watching it, Game 7. Very exciting battle. Ma Long was called, I believe, for his serve, and there were some issues throughout the match, but overall, Liam Pitchford with his backhand over the table was incredibly strong. Liam Pitchford quite similar to Zhengyang Shik in his build and his wrist ability over the table. Jackie Ng, our umpire for the match. Mario Refraschini from Italy, our assistant umpire. But last night at 9-9 in game number 6 against Zhengyang Shik. Zhengyang Shik had the serve. He served short with top and side spin, low to the net. Thought for sure Ma Long could not attack it. Did he get a long ball, either soft flick or a deep push to the backhand? And as he started to set up for that shot, Ma Long hooked it the other way to the wide forehand. Mind-blowing play. Here we go. So to start off the best of 7, a rocket backhand from Ma Long to start. Takes the first point.
Let's 1 love. One all.
Now, while I talked about confidence and possibly issues for Fan Zhendong, the last time these two played, Fan Zhendong won the match. That was the Asian Cup 2019, just before the World Championships, where many predicted these two would play the final if they ended up on opposite sides of the draw, which they did not. That being said, even still, Fan Zhendong did not make it to play Ma Long. Liang Jingquin got the best of him. Turns blind around the corner, quick and early. Ma Long plays it, gives him the chance. Instead of trying to play the short side, he doesn't turn that early, though. Maybe blind is a bit of an extreme phrase for this. Waits till almost the point of contact. Wow. Quick firepower from the backhand and the bend out of reach. Ma Long's serve so deceptive. Again, the way he comes into the ball on that pendulum serve, always a little bit different, that contact. So first towel break, Fan Zhendong leading 4-2. Now, if you're newer to table tennis, you're very lucky to be watching right now, because this is the greatest rivalry in the game currently. World #1 in black versus the player hailed, who's no question the most dominant player from what I've seen on paper in the history of table tennis.
4-3.
Spent 64 months at world #1. Gold medalist from Rio 2016, looking to be the first male to take 2 gold medals in men's singles. 3-time consecutive world champion on the receive. Fan Zhendong gets the rocket backhand back into play. I think Ma Long was a bit surprised, but still prepared. Again, that backhand from Ma Long, so efficient. And it really feels like he can just change the pace whenever he wants. Making sure the court is clean. Nothing interferes with the footwork that will be needed out here. Tied up at 4 points apiece, 3 in a row for Ma Long. And the parallel shot fooling Fan Zhendong. Tactically, Ma Long is a genius, maybe by every standard, but in the table tennis world, I don't think anybody thinks about the game as much as he does. Liu Guoliang also considered a genius by many for his insight to the game.
Let 5-4.
Heavy underspin on the pendulum, short to the forehand side. Fan Zhendong's backhand, that receive can be very strong over the table. In the modern game, that Chiquita receive, the banana flick, a major part of the game. Fan Zhendong taking a little extra time here. Right back down the line. Ma Long is there for the blast. Punches it back to the corner. Reaction time incredible. Heavy spin on the opening, just jumps forward. That's slow motion. You couldn't pick that shot if you wanted to. Knowing that the ball was going there beforehand, Ma Long just looks like he's Neo. Just missing long here. 2 points between them still. I think a lot of people, even though Ma Long has that dominant record against Fan Zhendong, wonder. The difference between them is 8 years. Fan Zhendong only 22 years old. Look like Ma Long might be slowing down a bit. 2017 Men's World Cup after having a baby. Quick blast of a backhand right back. But even with a little bit of downtime and some injury, Ma Long comes back to play just incredible table tennis in the last few months. Ideally for the spectators, for the world watching right now, Ma Long will stay at the top of his game for as long as possible. And just the rest of the world will raise their game to meet him at that level. Right now, score-wise in game one, Fan Zhendong has done just that. Ooh, break off the net. You can see the hand shaking from Fan Zhendong right before he serves. Could it be the nerves? Second bounce on the table shuts down the opportunity for Ma Long. Fan Zhendong in the lead now. He'd been trailing despite being up 4-1 at the start. Beautiful counter. Ma Long gets that racket head up high. A lot of players, they think they're ready, but then the side spin comes out and it's not so easy. Ma Long, I just can't believe that he can see the ball as well as he does, know the game so well, and cover. It's a little bit like Stretch Armstrong. In some ways, he's able to extend his arm more, find ways to get his feet in position first. And the second backhand from Ma Long, more authoritative, dictates the point. Beautiful shot right down the line, playing the risky shot here. Fan Zhendong takes his chances. Side spin, look at that. How much more beautiful can that get? To the very corner. Chiquita leaning sideways. This ball's dangling over the cliff that is the floor. The edge of the table to the deep corner. Soft and spinny, Ma Long waits. Says, time this one first and make me pay. I'll be ready for the heat when you bring it. Game point to Ma Long on the receive. Heavy spin over the table. Fan Zhendong keeps the pressure on, turns it up a bit. But it came down to the serve, getting Ma Long to back off the table just a bit. Fan Zhendong fan club making themselves known. I think the Ma Long fan club, probably the larger fan club in the stadium here, watching quietly. Wow.
11.
The cannon power. Now, Fan Zhendong, arguably one of the most, if not the most explosive player in the game. We just haven't seen a lot of it because Ma Long shuts it down and counters it so quickly, but it's game point to Fan Zhendong, and he's got the serve on his side. Oh, back edge of the table for Ma Long.
11.
Quick apology. Quite focused. Again, Ma Long is the most focused player on the World Tour. Even teammates that are used to joking around with him don't bother him much on the World Tour. Tends to be in his own space, headphones on as soon as the match is over to stay focused.
11, 12.
Now, if you had asked me at the point of contact, by the way that ball floated over, I would have thought empty. Can only see it from far away, but the fact that Fan Zhendong's shot hits the net and comes down, would imply that there was a lot more underspin on it than appeared. Game point, back to Ma Long.
12 all.
So with the fourth towel break dead even once again, this could be a very long match. I think that would be ideal for everyone watching. The more time you get to spend watching these two is like the best experiment in table tennis. Ooh, fast long serve, but well handled. I was wondering when we would see a long serve from Ma Long. Right into the backhand. Fan Zhendong opens the rally and beats Ma Long to the wide forehand corner. See the regret in Ma Long's face right there for not capitalizing on his serve. Maybe not getting to the wide forehand for the counter just a moment earlier. Game point once again for Fan Zhendong. And a little bit more onto the hand, and it literally hits Ma Long in the hand. Perfect placement. Fan Zhendong sneaks out game number one, 14-12. So world number one, arguably the underdog here, takes the lead, and we'll see what happens in the Clash of the Titans game number two coming up right after this.
Second game. Fan Zhendong to serve. Love off.
Players back for game number two. Fan Zhendong in the lead, 1-0 over the Dragon.
1 love.
The first point outright. I wonder how much of the potential confidence issue has to do with his massive respect and admiration for Ma Long.
Love.
Although it's tough to
two.
put the word issue in this sentence when it's a player who won their last encounter and is leading 1-0. So far, so good for Xiaopang. Oh, service
Love
error from Ma
three.
Long. Blows off the pressure. Blows off the moisture on the ball.
Full love.
Now, from a body language standpoint, while Ma Long kept it cool, it's always creepy and quite stunning how he's able to come back after moments like this. But it does show a little bit of surprising amounts of calm right now. What a combination!
4-1.
That forehand flick comes out of nowhere. The pancake flip, soft, and then the backhand rocket just gets up on the toes, snaps forward. He's got that left hand out as he does, creating that triangle. We don't see that from many other players. Ma Long, in a caliber of his own.
1-5.
What I think I was starting to say before is the world has been waiting to see, because of the 8-year difference, when Fan Zhendong finally figures out how he can beat Ma Long with any consistency, that'll be the end of the regime. But that hasn't happened so far, not yet.
1-6.
That being said, they haven't faced since the Asian Cup. So in their last encounter, Zhendong is 1-0.
Six, two.
And the score line right now, only a second point for Ma Long. Doesn't miss by a lot, just shows you how powerful Zhendong can be from behind the table, taking it late, playing the ball from behind the body.
Seven, two. Fine. Put the ball on the palm. Yeah.
Zhendong being warned not to
7,
toss out
2.
of the fingertips. The ball needs to be in the palm of the hand. Maybe got some sweat in the eye there.
Three, seven.
So last time they played, Ma Long was leading 10-7 and 1-0. Zhendong comes back to win the match 4-2. A little bit off the top edge of the racket there from Ma Long. But again, in these quick exchanges, so fast, very flat backhand. The chop block was waiting for it, deep to the backhand corner. Ma Long uses it more effectively than most in the world. That can be said for just about everything in the game. Heavy side spin, hardly any under. See the ball just spinning like a UFO there, an orbiting disc carrying off the rubber of Zhendong. This is a big point for Zhendong. If Ma Long makes it, that would have been 4 in a row. It would have been 6-7. He was down 2-7. So a bit of momentum now to break the comeback train. Ah, very strong.
9.
This feels like a setup that Zhendong was used to. Ma Long plays one soft, says, try to hit it hard at me. Zhendong says, no, I'm going to hit it hard right next to you, past you on the side.
Six, 9.
You can't see it, but I'm sitting here smiling, just thinking about the challenge ahead. I think it's the way a lot of the world feels watching China challenged. When Ma Long is challenged, it's like a mini China situation. He's the most dominant player in the world and within the Chinese national team.
10, 6.
So no matter who you're rooting for, it's always exciting when someone gets close to beating Ma Long or really puts up a good fight. And right now, Zhendong with 4 game points for a 2-0 lead. And that's it, 11-6. Well now, Zhendong 2-0, quite in control of game 2 for a bit. He lost it, but the strong start up 7-2 and the finish 11-6. He's in a good position here. Ma Long needs to do what he does best and engineer a plan to shut down the opponent. He hates losing more than anyone on the world tour, and it shows in his play. But Zhendong making his case here. We'll be back for game number 3, the Clash of the Titans right after this.
Third game. Ma Long to serve. Love ball.
Ma Long back for game number 3, down 0-2 against Zhendong here.
1 love. Love 2.
Good change of placement. Combination play here quickly from Ma Long. Long pendulum serve to the middle, backhand deep cross court. Oh, Zhendong makes him pay. Head down, gets the racket out and counters to the open court. Getting ready to just admire how fast Ma Long can be and how brilliant he is, and Zhendong has the better answer and makes the last shot of the rally. That bending backhand is absolute craziness. And the follow-up forehand finishes the point. Watch one more time. Oh man, is that nasty. Forces a slightly slower spinny shot out of Zhendong, and then the rip comes. Outstandingly played.
3-2.
Ma Long got almost everything he wanted, but Zhendong gets back up for one more shot, survives that one. Ma Long slows it down, but deep to the corner. Zhendong escapes the counterattack of Ma Long. Still Ma Long leads here in game number 3. So with the first towel break, Ma Long in control, up 4-2. Not enough though, when you're down 0-2 in games, it's tough to remain calm at times like this. Now in terms of who the players beat to get here, Zhendong beating Jung Pei-feng, winner of the Czech Open last year, 4-1, and Kazuhiro Yoshimura, 4-0. If that comes down, Ma Long chop blocks. But no need. Ma Long in the opening round played the could-have-been final of the World Championships against the young Korean An Jae-hyun. Instead, he played Matthias Falk in the final, but here in the opening round, beat An Jae-hyun 4-1. And then Jung Young-shik 4-3 last night. Broken ball, says Zhendong. Very quick to raise his hand. That's a tough call to make in that moment.
2-5.
You hear the ball, Ma Long knew exactly what to do. The ball kid picked up the ball, though. I think the idea was that the ball kid shouldn't pick up the ball. To make sure that the ball stays out of circulation, doesn't come back into play. Soft shot here from Ma Long, a little shallow on the table, trying to take away the big power from Zhendong. Quick turn and right down the line. Zhendong with an important point here. Again, 3 points between them. No timeout yet for Ma Long. I think he's going to save. A serve that appeared to be empty and a spinny ball a little bit more shallow on the table to follow. Ma Long keeping Zhendong a little bit behind the table. Can see a good full step and a half back. Considering the power Ma Long has, the ability to snap off a fast backhand at any moment.
Three, 8.
Now again, many would say Zhendong the best backhand in the world, and if not the, one of the very few. Ma Long backhand to backhand, not afraid of the fight, maybe a little bit less explosive power, but it's quite subtle, very quick, and very versatile, Ma Long's backhand. Little off the top of the net
9-3.
there. Second towel break. Ma Long up 9-3. Now Ma Long not only broke a record with his last title at the China Open, becoming the first player to get 28 titles in the men's singles event on the World Tour, but the 50 Club, not sure if you read about it on ITTF.com, a 50th title between events. Well played, Fan Zhendong. A shallow ball from Ma Long inside the table. Look how soaked Fan Zhendong's shirt is. It's clinging to his body in every place. That's how hard he's working to get in position for these shots. It looks like the bat suit right now. Is there primer on your jersey? Maybe. Beautiful backhand again, bending out.
5-9.
Out of reach. If Ma Long can't get a racket on it, you've done something right. Seen highlights of this from Satyen Yanashekaran.
Don't kick the serve.
Wasn't sure what the warning
5-9.
was. Maybe it was don't kick the ball to the side? On a few occasions, Ma Long knew that the ball wasn't to be replayed with, that there was a new ball in the hand. Fan Zhendong, yeah, I'm really curious. I didn't get a clear read on what the warning was, but it's 5 game points for Ma Long to get his first game this match.
10,
A patiently
6.
spun ball, but Fan Zhendong on the other side takes advantage of the opportunity, plays it to the open corner. Game point saved. Ma Long needs to capitalize on this here and now. Beautiful shot.
10,
Wow.
7.
One more time at this backhand. Back edge of the table, a little break for Fan Zhendong. But still the placement, very strong. It's tough to dry off your racket with your hand when you're as soaked as Fan Zhendong is. No
8,
timeout
10.
still. Third towel break this game. If Fan Zhendong gets one more point and Ma Long doesn't call a timeout. Okay, here we go. Timeout on Ma Long's side. Had 10-5, 3 points in a row for Fan Zhendong. Ma Long needs to shut it out if he gets down 0-3. It's tough to be confident and cool against someone who's won their first 3 games against you. According to Qin Zhijian, Ma Long has never lost a match where he won the first 3 games. No one's ever come back from down 0-3. That being said, I wonder how many times he was down 0-3 and came back. I don't have Qin Zhijian next to me. Maybe the Ma Long fan club, WeChat me. What will change right now? He hasn't really made the quality shots. He's tried to play soft and spinny a bit. Fan Zhendong has taken quite good advantage of that for the last 3 points. The break off the edge, but still being favored for going down the line, rewarded for taking that bold shot. Ma Long has been subtle with his serves. Short to the forehand. But right now, on the receive.
8, 10.
Trying to think what has actually fooled Fan Zhendong on the receive. Short game, let's see. Oh, just a straight up
11,
backhand.
8.
The timeout pays off. The serve came too long for Ma Long to play short. He goes with the spinny opening. And 11-8. The Dragon is on the scoreboard. He's down 1-2, but the timeout pays off. We'll be back for game number 4 in the Clash of the Titans. It's a quarterfinal match. Game 4 coming up right after this.
Fourth game.
Game number
Zhendong
4, the fan
to serve.
clubs having their
Love
mini
off.
battle in the crowd. I'm surprised Zhendong didn't change shirts. Different cultures sometimes. Players are more comfortable to change shirts in front of the crowd. Call the referee to go off and change. Quick counter, Ma Long's backhand, much like the match started. Still game 1 ended in the favor of Zhendong. Beautiful save from down near the ground. Ma Long keeps it low enough from under the table, just barely off the ground. Watch where he gets this ball. Zhendong hits a roller on the table under the net clamp against Simone Gauzy. Ma Long does just enough to get a player with that much feeling to pop the ball up for a winner. Oh, it is too pretty. Please, somebody put a frame around that. Hang it on the wall. A beautiful counter here. Ends with both feet in the air. Just leaping to success, saluting the crowd in the process. Racket at the forehead. 3-0 in the start of game 4. Slower and spinnier. Nice change of pace from Zhendong to get a point. Catch Ma Long at the back of the table. That forehand so quick, deep to the corner. Just thinking about the determination of Ma Long, how focused he's been. He's got Zhendong guessing where he's going to go there. Comes across the chest just a little bit there to play inside out. Beautiful cover from Zhendong. It's a shot where you feel like you have to extend the racket in your hand just to reach it. Ma Long goes parallel quickly. And the leaping Zhendong able to counter back to the short side. Faster and stronger in the end of that point. Zhendong turning up the heat. Three in a row now for Zhendong, back from down 1-4. He's thinking about the interview with Ma Long where he basically said when someone asked, "What about retirement? What are you thinking?" He said, "As long as I have the desire to win that I have now, keep playing. Don't see any reason to stop." And of course, no one's suggesting he should now, but a lot predicting maybe after Tokyo 2020, depending on the result. But again, no plans to stop. As long as he's healthy, as long as he wants to win, he's going to come out here and engineer a plan to win the match. Beautiful combination, as deep as can be. Fired up Zhendong, starting to feel some rhythm out here. Bit of boost in the confidence. Five points in a row for Zhendong. With confidence like this, he's going to be tough to stop. Ma Long is very able to unnerve somebody, to make them feel uncomfortable playing their game, and to punish them for trying. But right now, it's all rewards for Zhendong. Out in front by 6 consecutive points. Beautiful. Oh man, a breathtaking inside-out forehand. As soon as he turns, you start to wonder where he's going to go. And until he hits the ball, you just can't know. The mystery factor's so high. Even watching it in slow motion, it's just a masterpiece. Master of disguise out here, Ma Long. Still down, though, by 2. And 1 game to 2 here in game number 4. That's an escape for Fan Zhendong. Gets away with this one. Ma Long tries to play it right into the body. I think that's the right thing to do. Catches it just on its way down. And knows that the opportunity was there. What a backhand.
5, 9.
Absolute, just explosive power from that backhand. Tucks and rips. 9-5. 8 out of the last 9 points for Fan Zhendong. What just happened? What did Ma Long
9.
do? Please let us see that again from a different angle. Pretty please, let us. Okay, it's not going to happen now. Ma Long with something quite unfamiliar from the backhand. A very quick short stroke, and he now still down 3. Oh, spectacular on the run. Fan Zhendong turns the back to the table and gets this swatting backhand. Watch how far out wide he is on the forehand to come all the way back. Oh, beauty. This is like a Koki Niwa backhand, except with Fan Zhendong's power, and it earns him 4 game points. Right down the line, a little bit off the top of the knot. Ma Long saving a game point. There's something so fluid, like a dance move, the way he rolls up from the feet through the body to power that backhand. No timeout called yet on Fan Zhendong's side. 3 game points left. Oh, he leaves it a little bit long. Ma Long's shot comes off the table. Fan Zhendong quick to recognize, drops the racket and sends the ball away. It's a 3-1 lead. World number 1, still the underdog, head-to-head by a lot. But right now he's 1 game away from knocking out the dictator in the quarterfinals. We'll see what happens. Game 5 coming up right after this.
Fifth game. Ma Long to serve. Love off.
Players back for game number 5. 3-1 lead for Fan Zhendong on the receive. Earning the third ball, he's wanted. Again, up 4-1 in last game. Then everything turned. Hasn't been able to earn third balls quite like this. Ma Long's serve not so flashy, pretty subtle, but makes it very difficult to read.
Love 2.
So a bit more aggressive play here. Ma Long looking to make the first attack. Fan Zhendong has not been, well, so easy to handle in terms of his placement in the attack game. Oh, man, One more
1,
shot than they
2.
expected. Chop block to perfection, the rip off of that and the counter right back. Fan Zhendong still ready for one more. Baseline of the table, and then the hooking forehand just out of reach. Talk about in and out. Fan Zhendong has to do everything right in this point.
2-all.
Ties it up now, 2 points apiece. Only 2 times in their history on ITTF's website, again, out of 15 matches, has Fan Zhendong won. 2016 in China, 4-0, the China Open, and earlier this year at the Asian Cup, 4-2.
Let. 2-all. 2-3.
Now, while Ma Long is the most unbeaten player on the planet, Fan Zhendong isn't too far behind if you remove his record against Ma Long. Now we're talking. Once again, outstanding exchange. I can't remember the last time I saw Ma Long try a behind the back shot. Fooled here. Doesn't miss by a lot. Fan Zhendong playing the parallel under pressure. And it pays off. The exchange, again, it's like a game of chicken. They're both inviting the other to take the first big shot, knowing that they can counter back. Fan Zhendong's hand shaking once again, but I feel like that's a pretty consistent thing for him, even in matches maybe where he's leading by quite a bit in terms of the tension. Perfect placement there. I think we saw the apology for the faint edge. Just a little bit, but still pretty close to clean. Right back the other way from the middle of the table. Fan Zhendong, excuse me, Ma Long quick off the bounce. Fan Zhendong on the chase. Just too quick and no telegraphing where it's going to go.
Let. 3-5.
Fan Zhendong has used that backhand to the deep corner, bending away so many times. It's one of his best shots. Ma Long hadn't even come down from the shot before yet. He was resetting. Perfect timing. This is tough times right now. Ma Long had a timeout left. I think we might have seen it a little bit earlier in this game. Backhand punch, he's definitely not throwing in the towel. 3-7 is more than recoverable, but it's not going to be easy. Not the way Fan Zhendong's been playing, not with the determination that Fan Zhendong has to chase away the shadow that has been luring over him. Heavy top spin in, extends his lead back to 4.
8.
Second towel break. Fan Zhendong 3 points away from a victory that might feel like he's taken the title, despite the fact that he's advancing to the semifinals. Again, not bothered by the pancake flip. Showing push, going with the attack. Fan Zhendong seems well prepared. He doesn't budge, doesn't move in too soon. 2 points away.
9-5.
I was going to say, it's been a long time since I've seen an exhibition point with Ma Long, but the score line like this, I think he's going to fight it all the way through. The winner here will play the winner of Xu Xin and Zhang Wujin.
10,
It is starting to
5.
come unraveled. It is 5 game and match points right now for Fan Zhendong for back-to-back victories over Ma Long in 2019. And he does it. Xiao Peng, 4 games to 1, takes out the Dragon, takes out Ma Long, world number 1, making his way back, finds some confidence just after game 3, 11-7, 11-5, only 1 game. In game 1, who knew that it would be so telling that game 1 was back and forth throughout, but it was tough for Ma Long to regain control. So Ma Long fans will be disappointed, but the Fan Zhendong fan club will get to see as Fan Zhendong moves on to the semifinals for the winner against Zhang Wujin and Xu Xin. More to come. Sun Wen and Li Wenru on the other side in the semifinals. More matches for the rest of today coming up in just a bit. We've got Sun Yingsha and Wang Manyu. And then after that, Xu Xin and Zhang Wujin for the final match of the day. Congratulations, Fan Zhendong. Incredible performance to beat the most unbeaten player in the world for your 2nd time in a row. World number 1. Making a solid case for holding down that position in the world rankings. We'll see what happens. Stick around, more coming up in just a bit.
Thank you.